Lee, thank you. This entire game was a Gruden grinder, you could say. Going here at Paul Brown Stadium.
It was a dog and monkey show.
Steve Young, Trent, Ray Lewis, and here's 99 in the house.
Who's here? He already hugged us all, so yeah, we're good. Yeah, we pre-hugged.
You guys are way better than me.
We hugged it out.
All right.
We hugged it out.
Here's J.J. Watt. He needs no further introduction. The story of this game has to be your defense. How did you shut down Andy Dalton and the Bengals tonight?
I think it was a full team effort. I think, first of all, we had good field position a lot of time, especially in the fourth quarter. Our punter and our offense did a good job of putting us down inside the 20, inside the 10. But then it was just full team effort. It's guys up front doing their job in the running game. It's guys on the back end making sure they couldn't complete those quick throws that they love. It's just a full team effort.
What was Romeo this week? You had an extra week of preparation for this explosive team that you kept without a touchdown.
First things first, we need to stop the running game. That's always our first goal. And then Andy Dalton is really comfortable when he can get the ball out of his hands quick. So we want to make sure that we can stop those quick throws and frustrate him a little bit.
Big emphasis on tackling it off and pass right back on. How much do you attribute your success to that?
It's a big emphasis for us, and it's going to be the rest of the year. We have to be able to tackle an open field, especially against guys like A.J. Green, Eifert. They have really good players on that side of the ball, so we just had to come out here and do our jobs.
With all the energy and passion you play with, bro, those weeks that you watched that film, knowing that was not your defense, what did you have to say to your team?
We just had to do our jobs. We had to settle in. Guys don't have to try to do too much. We just had to settle in, play our assignments, go out there, be us. And I think it started last week against Tennessee. We had juice, we had energy, we had passion. And today we came out here and we held a great offense to 2 field goals.
How dark was it, though, after that Miami game?
Yeah.
To be humiliated like that on defense?
From the outside world, it can look very dark.
Yeah.
From the outside world, nobody gave us a shot in this game. So that's what you have to do, is believe in yourselves. And I think we have a locker room full of guys who believe in ourselves when nobody else did. And that's how you accomplish
So
something.
what's the difference? Why can you guys look so bleak and then look so great? I mean, what is it? Literally just an emotional response?
I think we're playing technically sound. We're tackling a lot better than we were. There were a lot of missed tackles early on in the year, and we've corrected that issue. We're playing technically sound, and we're all playing together with passion, with excitement, with energy. And it's a lot of fun when you do that.
Keep talking total team effort, all the guys in that locker room. I say T.J. Yates.
Own Cincinnati, I guess. I mean, he comes in here our rookie year and wins us a game to go to the playoffs. He comes in here tonight in the second half and he wins us a game. Incredible. TJ, I say he plays pretty well in the stadium.
You said that this game could turn your season around. You feel like that afterwards now?
I think it's a season of one-game seasons for us.
There you go.
And the game tonight was a massive game for us because this is an 8-0 team on the road in a very difficult environment, and we showed what we're capable of. So I think it's momentum moving forward, and now we have the Jets coming into our building, and we need to keep that momentum going.
Let's take a look at the standings here for a second. The standings in the South. Now, some people snicker, JJ, but all you guys care about is you're now tied for first place.
Yeah.
Winner of this division's getting a home playoff game.
When you have everything else in front of you, nothing else matters. All you need to do is take it one day at a time, one game at a time, because you can control your own destiny.
Tell the kids at home why you love the game so much.
I get to play football for a living, man. It's the coolest thing in the entire world. I wake up in the morning and they pay me to come to work and to play a game, to go out there, to watch film, to work out, to practice. And I get to do it with my teammates every single day. There's no better profession in the world. And I realize how many people in the world wish they could have my job.
Yeah.
So I'm playing for all those people that wish they had my job.
We talked before the game, JJ, that you were very versatile. In fact, we said maybe you can play defensive back, corner. I said quarterback. You go out and throw the ball around pregame. You go before practice. I mean, everybody wants to play quarterback. What do you think?
Don't listen to Steve. Don't listen to Steve.
See, when I was in high school,
what do you think, JJ? Be honest.
But I couldn't
hold it back.
I can't hold the short throws.
Don't listen to Steve.
I can throw the long throws, but the short throws, like a bubble screen, a slant, I'll sail it over their head. I just like to drop back and launch it.
Why is it important for you to be connected to your fans the way you are, though?
Because they're the reason I have a job.
Yeah.
They're the reason that this game is so much fun. If it wasn't for them coming out to the games, if it wasn't for them buying our jerseys, if it wasn't for them supporting us, I wouldn't have a job. So I appreciate and I love the fans, and the connection we have is incredible. That's why I love doing the throws before the games. That's why I love every part about interacting with the fans.
Along those lines, you told Lisa Salters a story about you getting to the stadium early yesterday and sitting up top. Tell the SportsCenter audience about that.
Yeah, it was just a chance for me. We had some time before the buses left to go to the airport. So I went all the way up to the very top of the stadium, and I just sat there, and I looked around for about an hour. And it just gives you perspective, because I remember what it was like to be a fan. I grew up in the state of Wisconsin, so growing up, I was a Green Bay Packers fan. And to know that I'm in a situation now where people look up to me like I used to look up to guys like Reggie White. It's the most incredible thing in the world. And sometimes it's easy to lose that perspective. So I had to bring that perspective back to me. And it just reminds me of how unbelievably special that this is.
That's good.
Only Reggie White now has more sacks in NFL history in the first 5 seasons than you do.
Can you imagine the enthusiasm of these two in the huddle together?
No.
I just want the hat. That's all.
Why don't you guys trade hats? No, he has his own hat.
That's his hat. Oh my God. Probably has more followers than I do.
Don't get into this.
That's KJ Watt.
Oh my God.
Place. Houston Texans.
Yeah, say it again.
First place. Tied for first place
There you
right
go.
now. Still got another date. Indianapolis Colts later in the season. But the story is tonight, Cincinnati is perfect no more. Texans come out on top.
The Postgame Report is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
Here's Steve Young, Trent Dilfer, and Ray Lewis. And we'll have to give Houston credit for their defensive performance.
Awesome.
But this is about Cincinnati. Their stars not coming through in the clutch, and TJ Yates and that Houston defense beating them when it counted.
Well, and let's set the stage, too. It wouldn't matter if the Bengals went 16-0. The narrative going to the playoffs was going to be very simple. Could they win a playoff game? And I think tonight's interesting because it's very hard to replicate playoff energy in the regular season. But Monday Night Football, when you're undefeated in the middle of the season, is about as close as you're going to get at home to hype around this game. And they laid an egg. Offensively, they laid an egg, and it was very similar to what they've done in the playoffs. Very poor on third down, unable to get the running game going, forced balls by Andy Dalton. It was kind of the formula that showed up in the playoff game. So they have some demons they need to exercise before the playoffs. Because they're going to get some.
It just goes back. Think about it. It looked like a playoff game.
Yes.
A Bengal typical playoff game. When you come in with all the
Well, and
expectations,
this is the
all the
environment.
hype. It did feel that way. So it's interesting that you look back in their playoff
But it was
history.
really interesting for us to have this conversation before the game. Can Andy Dalton make enough plays to win football games?
In big games.
plays. We watched this.
He has this year.
Listen,
he has.
Yeah.
this year.
Until
but
tonight.
there were too many people wide open. If he sits in the pocket,
Right.
there's a check down. There's a tight end wide open. And then the guy that we highlight, the tight end, to drop that many big passes.
3 big drops.
Oh, 3 big drops. So anytime you think you have this many of your superstars making that many plays, you have to ask yourself, were they looking ahead? Were they already thinking about this huge rivalry with the Arizona Cardinals next week? Right? Because I don't think, if you watch the way they play, I don't think the energy at all wasn't there defensively. I didn't see what I wanted to come see out of
In
this
some
defense
weird
tonight.
way, when you're undefeated and you get in the 8s and 9s, it starts to. It becomes a commodity. First of all, it's like, well, we just win every week, and so we just throw our jock out there and off we go. And I just think in the long run, you're going to need a wake-up call. So you get one tonight.
Yeah.
And I think they get that wake-up call.
Yeah.
The truth is,
And
your initial comment is the right comment. It really doesn't matter.
Nope. Right.
Because until January, because the narrative is going to be for the Bengals and Andy Dalton, wake us up in January. Really, they could have dominated today. We would have said,
Hang on.
yeah,
It doesn't
do
matter.
it in January.
This loss at home to this opponent.
But it comes at a time when you say, okay, coach can scream at everybody, get everybody all
Yeah, but
riled
here's
up.
what's interesting. You have tonight as a sample.
Right.
Next week, they got to go to Arizona
Right.
on a short week to the West Coast and play, in my opinion, the best team in the NFC.
Yeah.
So you're going to have 2 prime time samples as you go into the playoffs or what this team is under the biggest lights, the biggest stages. And it's just interesting. It's just, I guess we're observing it now. It doesn't mean anything moving forward, but it's definitely going to help us better understand this year's Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, listen, I think for me, I watched the game last night. I watched a very close game last night with the New York Giants and the New England Patriots. And I'm watching Tom Brady. And I'm saying to myself, right, if they leave enough time on the clock, he knows how to go and beat you. And I'm looking at this game tonight and I'm saying, okay, guess what? Andy Dalton, you're in the exact same position. With timeouts, with more time on the clock. And that's the point to me. Andy Dalton himself still couldn't get that
Well,
done.
it's funny you bring up Tom
Yeah.
Brady because
Yeah.
there are analytics geeks out there that need statistical evidence. If you look at the last 3 years, Tom Brady on third down, 75% of his throws go for first downs.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton's issue in tonight and in the playoffs is third down passing. He's like 40% of his throws over the last 3 years go for first downs. That's a massive number on the most critical down in football. So it does come down to how's Andy Dalton going to play against Tom Brady, and the most important down, it doesn't compare.
And how is it practically, Steve, here, 8-0, and Andy's struggling, and they're booing?
Yeah,
Right.
10
I mean,
minutes left, they're booing.
that's the story, because it's always right there.
Yep.
Until you do it, it's always right around the corner, and they know it. It's like the ghost that's waiting for you. And until you beat it to the ground, and they can't do it tonight. No matter if they would have won 40-0, it can't be done until January.
The message from Marvin Lewis all week long, as every coach of a perfect team would say, don't change anything. Well, something did change tonight. The Bengals are saddled with their first loss of the season. Cincinnati, first unbeaten, untied team with 8+ wins that fails to score a touchdown, heading back to the 1934 Lions. How about that?